Big Crave presents Afterglow Sundays on the current from Crossfade Commons. Verse, voice, and witness. Another Stays In production.
Peace and blessings, love, light, joy, all those things I speak to you today to you. Why? Because of your I amness, and your I amness is perfect. Listen, what is this? This is Afterglow Sundays. I am your host, the original Big Crave, aka the Lyrical Exodus, aka Galactus. Oh, y'all don't know about Galactus, y'all. Y'all don't know about Galactus. And I'm here today. This is what? Crossfade Commons. This is the current. This is what's happening today. I am joined today, as always, by one half of the Stays in Verse, one half of Tres Duravia Incorporated, my friend, Miss Lady. How are you today?
I'm here. I'm doing well. You know, I'm both. You see Miss Angel Kim on the side. She's right here.
Yeah, I know she is. And
you gotta have a certain level of discernment here.
Yes, we are definitely shouting out our other co-host today, who is resting. Today is a rest day for her, and we allow that. We allow our friends to rest.
We allow mental health days here.
Yeah, we have our mental health days, and it's a good thing, And
yeah.
we've definitely dealt with that. Here we are. I pray everyone has had a wonderful week. I pray everyone is taking care of themselves, taking care of their mental health, doing healthy things for themselves, relaxing, not being alarmed too tough, analyzing the signal, what's really going on around you, and showing yourself love. That is one of the most important things that you can do. This is the reason why Afterglow exists. You can't love anything until you love yourself, until you're comfortable with yourself, till you know yourself, until you give yourself a powerful stance in this unstable, stable situation. Okay, so you give yourselves that power. And once you give yourselves that power, you are powerful. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about two words: mentorship and guidance. Mentorship and guidance. Okay, and I'm gonna give you a little segue into it. So I go to AI to get assistance of the etymology of a word. And then it brings you through all the gamut of everything that deals with that. Now it's up to you to take that information and either dissect it, dismiss it, or use it or apply from it. Some of it may apply to you, some of it may not. But AI is very informative when it's used correctly. And that is my stance, okay? We should never use it to, mess with people and be mean and all those things. But even though they got that down locked already, we already know. But I looked up the word mentorship, right? And I looked up the word mentor. And it goes back to a Greek origin. And I had to put it in truth mode to see if there's anything further back of the word itself. We might call it something else. We might call mentorship ma'at. Or we might call mentorship overseeing. Those words came up, and it was a Yoruba word for it, but I lost the page on it, so I can't give you the Yoruba word on it. Okay, but anyway, and I want to say before I even get started, shout out to the people who are listening today. Thank you. You are an integral part of what is going to make this thing grow, the process of it, and we appreciate you, especially the people who took time out on this day of rest. The second day of the week. I'm not even going to start our debate, but anyway, We're understanding that your time is important, and we want to make sure that we are valuable, and we're giving you valuable information. All right, so go segue into my story. So the etymology of the word mentor comes from an ancient Greek story of a man named Odysseus. Okay, now Odysseus had to go. It was a trusted man that was next to him. Now notice what I'm saying, man, and I'm not using it in a way. I'm just saying it was a trusted man that after he left for war, he left this man in charge of his son. All right, and to guide and protect his son. And the story goes and all of that. Anyway, Odysseus ends up being kind of whacked out or whatever it is. And I'm not getting to that because anyway, but I wanted to go to the etymology of the word. So the etymology of the word and its translation is trusted guide, wise counselor. What else did it say? An instruction, one who gives an example. And I say, yes, this is where I want to go. So now also, I had last Thursday, I believe it was, I'm on another platform called The Next Move, which is in the Stay Zen verse. We got it going on with you. Y'all better watch Stay Zen verse. It's coming for you. We coming. Listen, and it's called, listen, this is what it's called, The Next Move, okay? And I asked a question in The Next Move, and I'm on every second and fourth Thursday of the month, okay? So
every Sunday.
And then every Sunday also, but every second and fourth Thursday. But I asked a question in that room, and it kind of segued over there. I said, what is mentoring you? We often find examples of our daily lives and what we do, how we operate, what our thinking process is. And sometimes let's use an example of a job. You're coming in, you're learning this job, you're trying to do, they're going to sign someone over you. They're going to sign a person over you that's been there on that job a while, and they're going to oversee what you know and how the operation works, how the business works, how the procedures work, whether it's the policy for those things. That mentor is going to make sure it mentors you to be productive. Let's use that word, to be productive. So in our lives, we run across mentors. We run across people who help us, who assist us, who give us insight on daily things. Maybe it's friendship. Maybe it's business. Maybe it's guidance. But someone does mentor you. Now, you have a spiritual side of that also, which I'll get into that a little later. But your everyday thing, what mentors you? So the first question I'm going to ask is, Miss Lady, what is mentorship to you, and what mentors you? That's a question for everyone today. And we want you to put your answers in the chat, okay? We want you to put your answers because this is an interactive thing. Your voice does matter. So the question to you, Miss Lady.
Mentorship, I want to say, I mean, first and foremost, mentorship is when you are getting your information and your perspective, learning discernment. And I want to say that, for a while, so first, I will say, God above all. So that every day, all day. And for a really, really long time. And I will say even still, my dad was a very large portion for the feminine side, my mom. A huge part. And even though we are not close today, still, I mean, that still resonates big time for me. And I say that because there are a lot of people who, it just because we're not close, just because we don't talk every day, I don't think that it should take away from what that mentor poured into you. Yeah, and I think a lot of people really do believe that you have to be cool. You have to, you gotta kiki and ha ha. You have to do all of that. And I don't think that that's a thing at all. The things that my parents passed down to me, taught me, built the foundation, the brickwork for, I pass on to my daughter. I think that's true mentorship. And like
Yeah.
I said, above all, God. And so that's mentorship, with something that can be passed on,
Mhm.
something that holds weight, something that teaches you what is it that I need to look at. How can I look around me and keep myself safe
Mhm.
in the atmosphere?
In that
What is
atmosphere.
going to harm me? What is going to keep me safe? Because it's not all about what harms you. It's about how do I surround myself with things that are going to enhance me as well.
Mhm. That's one of the most beautiful answers I've heard about it, and so articulately well spoken. Thank you. I, the first time I can think of really mentorship in my life, and I have to give this story, so I have to give my background on it. As a
It's story
child,
time, y'all. Get your popcorn. Oh, it's too
oh,
early.
listen, check it out. Oh, yeah. And here it is. Born and raised in Hartford, Connecticut. And shout out to the Carolina Hurricanes, who used to be the Hartford Whalers. And they in the Stanley Cup
I'm not
final.
going to do the Hartford stand up.
It's Hartford always stand up, but I have to say, because they were from they were from the Hartford Whalers. They were formerly the Hartford Whalers, all right? But now they're the Carolina Hurricanes. So I had to give
Mm.
them love. Shout out to them first. But anyway, coming from Connecticut, Hartford, born and raised, Northeast, North End, all day, every day. 20 love to my folks there. Watch this. There was a lady named Willa C. Lowe, and I will never, ever forget this lady. Now, let me give you the backstory. She was educated, she was from Georgia, but she was educated at Bethune-Cookman at the time. And she graduated Bethune-Cookman, and for years she lived, and she was my godmother. Really, I said my grandmother. She was just my grandmother, but she was actually my godmother. And she used to tell me stories. And these stories that she used to tell me had assignments. Now, check out your boy Big Crave. They had assignments. They had writing assignments. They had reading assignments. I needed to find out who Mary McLeod Bethune was. I had to find out what an HBCU was.
Mhm.
I learned about fraternities. I learned about orders. I learned about jazz. I learned about, and it's so crazy that I got this jazz hat on. It's crazy, but this is all coming around. My mother's nickname was Jazzmo too. That's why I love this hat. But anyway,
Mhm.
she used to let me write out very complicated dictionary words. Back in the days, this lady, when you had the dictionary, but it had the backwards E and the apostrophe, and the word was totally broken down, those big oxen, but she gave me that. And I went through that whole dictionary just writing out things. She had me involved in something called the Baptist Training Union. And this mentorship was that I get to learn the Bible at a young age, and the reward was cake. And oh my God, listen, I'm going somewhere with the story. All kinds of desserts, all kinds of beautiful things, all kinds of like stews, exotic stews like with fish and seafood and all those things. And she was my babysitter. So the mentorship that she gave me really is the foundation of who I am and what I am now. Besides my parents, I'm talking about just for the love of being articulate, the love of being able to use words fluently, being able to write. She was one of my first mentors. And her idea of education was this. She said, they can't hide it from you if you know how to look for it.
Mhm.
She used to tell me, Willa C. Lowe used to tell me, they can't hide it from you if you know where to look. I learned how to read an encyclopedia from her. I learned how to go through the encyclopedia and read the encyclopedia. I learned how to actually, and this is so crazy, the story. I learned actually how to block write. Do you remember block writing, original? I still print like that to this day. She was the first ones that says you need to cut your sevens and cross your zero. She says, because you don't know if it's an O or a zero. And writing to the point to where my wife will tell you my handwriting is beautiful.
I didn't even you know what? I didn't even know that's what it was called. I just know that's what we did.
Yeah, block writing.
It was right.
And she got me something called a drafting pen, like a drafting pen with the you know how you write out like on an architect's thing. And she used to let me, she says, your muscle memory, you're going to get your muscle memory. And my words, I can do F's, I can do the fancy, you know, the Q's. And she said, it's not a Q. No, that's not a Q. It looks like this. And I said, well, it look like a number 2. She says, no, it's not a 2. It's a Q. And I was good, whatever. So,
you know, but it makes me wonder, I didn't mean to cut you off. It makes me wonder how many, you know, like my daughter EDJ, she grew up with all of the cursive books, the cursive writing books with the you know, the lines and all of that. And she would come in and she would like, how is this? And we'd sit there and we'd write it together. And so now when I'm talking to, you know, parents about the fact that yes, these are things this generation could have taught and can still teach, because it's not too late. We literally can still do this right now, like today. Go. But these are things that we grew up with. Like I absolutely grew up with these books. Sit there and write. And do it again. That penmanship, the practice, these tools that we had, and the muscle memory. When you know my daughter grew up with fine motor skills. This was language that we used, and the studies have been coming out left and right about these are the things that you didn't have language for back then, but that is what made us who we are. That is what made children into the adults who could do these things. And it's interesting because you never thought about it. Our parents never thought about it. Grandparents never thought about it. It was the constant practice, that muscle memory, the fine motor, the hey, nice to see you. It was the sitting there, patience. It was the standing in line, no phones, the standing there with your own thoughts.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm reading the articles and I keep telling folks, I'm telling you, in about like a few years, the studies are going to come out about X, and in a few years, studies come out about it, and they say the same thing. The resilience, and they break it down. It's not just resilience; it's these other things. And I like to hear like what you're talking about, because then we can teach that.
Yes.
Because what we can't teach is this word resilience, because you say that, and now what does that mean to the average parent? That means nothing. It's like, okay, so are we born with that? Same thing with the empathy. Came up in Empathy Save the Species with Wounded Healer Poets Brigade that Russ and I do on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Check it out. Clubhouse.
Can it be taught? Yes, it can. Passion and empathy can be taught. All of these things can be taught. And that's why I really hope that a lot of people can think about the fact that everything that you are panicking about, calm down.
Wow.
We can fix it.
Yeah.
We can absolutely fix it. So I just wanted to, you said that. And
you know, because now that I think about it, and we're talking about mentorship, because the thirst that I had, you know, I didn't want to do it at first. Let's go ahead and talk about it. You know, that didn't look like mentorship to me back then. Now, this is immature 8, 9-year-old. I can remember back when I was probably 6 or 7. That's how long she used to keep me, you know, till I was maybe 12 or 13, maybe. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I would go over there. I would constantly go over there. And then she got really ill and passed. And you know, but those nuggets that she used to do, like these books the paper was different, the lines in it were different, and it was a flow. It was the way she allowed me to understand that writing was a very important part of communication and learning. And at a young age, I got that. I connected those together because the more I wrote, the more I wanted to write. And then so, music became another thing. Her mentorship in me and music come from early jazz, early blues, when records were on 78s. Y'all don't know about that back then. I don't think this generation don't know what a 78 is.
You gonna have to explain what a 78 is for me.
Okay,
whatever.
Okay. Now let me show you something about these were records, okay, that moved at 78 RPMs a minute. Okay, so but they were not 45s. The little
See, I remember seeing those.
You remember 45s? They were the smallest. All right. And then you got 30, you got 33s who were kind of like bigger. The 33s were albums, okay? But the 78s in the middle of it was between the 45 and the 33. And they were big, but not totally big. And it was a pleasure because the acetate, what they did it, the sound, the volume, the clarity on 78s was out of this world, even though we were in an analog age. But that needle, when it got inside that groove on a 78, the sound was just something that you could not. I'm talking about Benny Goodman. I'm talking about Max Roach. We're talking about people that I just heard back in the days. Blind Melon Jelly, all those things. I would sit in front of that. You know, the RCA dog that sits in front of the, you ever seen the RCA dog that sits in front of the stereo? With that, that was me. She had a stereo like that actually played with the old-timey stereo. And I would sit there, which is very delicate. And I learned how to put the needle on it and just listen to complex jazz patterns and all these things while I was writing. And then I was programmed in this type of mentorship to be a sponge. I was programmed to decide what actually order was, but didn't know that it was creating a creativity in me that's beyond. Now, if you know me on the poetry scene, or if you know me as far as what I spit I try to go give you every time, and I got a receipt right here. If you hear me spit a poem, it's a whole production. I promise you that. It's a production from me. I'm talking about from the beginning to the end. You're going to get a production piece. You're going to get a mini movie with words with me. Okay. I got the receipts. Anybody in the chat can say it. Miss Lady can say, I got receipts, y'all. Yes. And I'll talk about the other stuff later. But anyway, and mentoring me in that place gave me so much confidence. It was the confidence that I knew that through this guidance, through this intention that she had towards me, I knew it could come out like it was direction, correction. It was sustaining. It was fulfilling. It was a wisdom that I gained at such a young age through that experience that blessed me. I mean, it just blessed me. So, I'm going to move on from it, but to really see what mentorship was back then helped me mentor like I do now. It did at that young age. I'm talking about now. I've had some mentors after that. Now I had some street mentors, the brothers on the corner, that brothers and older brothers in my hood, the brothers that showed us how to move around. You know what I'm saying? And I had my pops. I'm not going to front. I had that element too. And some things, certain men need to be aware of. I had those type of mentors too. Okay.
Was there a difference between the academic and the street mentors?
Yes, very much so. Very much so. Because you were held more accountable with non-formal forms of mentorship than you were formal.
Tell me about that.
Let me tell you. So they had the brothers on the corner. There was a barber shop there on the corner. It was Barber and Western Street, I think it was. And the brothers would stand out handing out. We used to call them Hebrew Muslim Israelites, where the nation of gods and earths and all that. They would hand out these little pamphlets. Okay. So, in order for me to come outside, all right, and be able to chill, not get in trouble, not do this, not do that. Hey man, you need to read that. And then when he seen me again, hey man, do you remember this lesson right here? Blase, blase, I said, oh man, I didn't. Boom. Nah, man, go in the house, man. You can't play today. And they was like, you ain't around there, you know, because it was a court behind the house. So, you know, some of the older guys would be on the basketball court. They'd be building, you know, doing their thing. But then when it's time for them to leave, you know, then the youngest can kind of get on the court and play. But you couldn't come outside if you didn't get your lesson out. Stay with me now. Stay with me. After about maybe 3 weeks of that, I was like, no, I'm going to the store. I'm getting my pumpkin seeds. I'm getting my now ladies. I'm getting all of that. Especially if I had 75 cents in my pocket, 50 cents to go get my pops.
We don't even want to talk about what 50 Cent got you. Okay.
Anyway, I was going to the store. And then I said, okay, let me read it. So I started reading it. I would read it and they'd say, oh, yeah, the first lesson. What is now? Now is the foundation of all things existence, blah, 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 blah. He said, okay, man. All right. I can go. Then I can come on back, you know, everything be cool. And I'll tell my little partner, I said, man, you get your, you know, thing out. That was my man Todd. I said, you get your little lesson out. He's like, man, I ain't. That's all right, man. They're going to be honest. You know what I mean? And then that type of, so to answer your question, it was more accountability in that setting than it was formal, because formal was you were rewarded on what you knew, but you were tested on it. See, and this kind of testing, it was different. It was in your face. It wasn't, well, Wednesday we're going to have a test. Well, it's up to you to study. It's the same thing, but it was more pressure on that type of setting than it was, I say, in a school setting for me. Until I got older, I understood that really they both equaled out. Because, you know what I'm saying? You know, it equaled out later, but in a school setting, the teacher actually is a mentor to you because they're instructing you on to learn the curriculum. Well, depending upon how serious the curriculum is how much you pay attention to it. And a mentor is either going to let you know that or let you drop the ball. One of these two. That's the difference between a good mentor. You're going to be held accountable for the information. But when you're tested on it, you can't blame nobody but yourself. You know, which tells me something about experience. Now, what experiences have you had with mentors that you wish you could get like back, like an experience with a mentor? One experience, just think of one experience. I think I know you're going to go where you went with this one. I think you're going to go there, but I'm going to try to rephrase it. Having a mentor, what experience really, really, really changed you through mentorship? And that's for everybody too. What experience changed you? What experience? One experience you can come up with.
Man, I got 3, one for each.
Here we go. Here we go.
Nah, but I do though. I do. And I'm gonna tell you why it's important, because while you were talking, I thought about all of the conversations. So, you know, I have my private practice, and you know, Russ and I do these spaces. And I really, when I say that I listen to what everybody has to say and the questions that are always asked, because I'm always asked same question. So what do we do? So I don't feel like I have any power. So, you know, what steps do we take now? And I really do. Well, first of all, I lose sleep because I'm an insomniac, but I take these seriously. You know, I really do sit, and y'all know, I got receipts for this. Y'all know I sit around, I research, I really do sit there and I come up with these answers because I want to know. I'm thinking, okay, so how do we come up with this? So the one is my mother and I had to be like all of, I don't know, 11, 12. We're walking down. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and at some point she's gonna watch this. And even if you're not speaking, Mom, I love you. God bless you. And I tell people this all the time. There's a lot of people. If you know me, at some point I told you this story. Like, and I'm I'm closer to 50 than I am to 40. And at one point, Brooklyn, New York, Ocean Avenue, we're walking.
I know where you're going now. Now I know where you're going.
Exactly. And my mom says, walk like a lady. And I know EDJ is somewhere in the house going,
oh.
And I'm like, the heck? What does that mean? And honestly, like, and I remember it to this day, which tells you a lot. And this is why I'm gonna get to y'all in a moment, man. But this is why women are so important as mentors.
Yes.
Because at that moment, I didn't know what the heck she was talking about. What you mean? But that generation of women, they didn't give you a list. They didn't give you, so you have to this and that, and they didn't give you none of that. You learned it by watching. It was a model. You watched. I learned by watching my mother. So that's that situation. My dad. We walk again. I don't know why most of my lessons happened on Avenue J. Don't ask me why. But
Avenue J.
Avenue J, man.
I can tell you about Avenue J.
Oh, let me tell you.
Avenue D.
We walking down, and again, if you know me, if you're in my inner circle and you've been here for a while, then you understand. You've heard this.
Yeah.
We're walking down. My dad stops, and whenever he stopped, I was like, "Oh Lord God, what is he going to ask me now?" I love you, Dad. He said, "Did you notice?" Yeah, he talked like that. "Did you notice that guy looking at you?" And I immediately go, "What is the right answer to this question?" I immediately go, "No," because I'm thinking, if I noticed that, then I must have been you're just circling. You're trying to. All right. Apparently, that was the wrong answer because I'm supposed to notice everything because you taught me to notice everything and observe everything. So okay, I did notice. I did notice that. I did, but I was scared. So my dad taught me how to notice everything. My dad taught me how to be streetwise. My mom taught me how to work in law firms. I learned everything. This is why man, the father, is important in the households.
Yes, very much.
Watching this and you're not in the household, get your behind back in the household. Anyhow, my last one, Professor Vanderven. I love you. I gave this story. I gave this story recently.
Yes,
hated play. Hated play. Oh my gosh. And anybody who knows me now, you didn't know me then.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm like, yes, sit with your kids, play with them. Yes, PCIT, let's go. All right. Uno, yes. Toys. Let me tell you something. So I failed my paper, my undergrad. And Professor Vanderven was the one who had me go with my paper and everything, indignant. "Ma'am, this must be a mistake." I made an appointment with her and everything, sat down, University of Pittsburgh. Hi. And she, wonderful woman, wonderful. She's got to be in her 90s now. God bless her. Please send me, just send me, DM me your whole, like everything you do, ma'am. But I'm an A student. We don't get D's. What is this? So she told me, like I don't know. I guess I don't know. Don't ask me what I did. I didn't do it right. And she informed me that play was extremely important. And I don't know what I did. I danced my way around whatever.
Did you say she informed you that it was very important?
Yes. That's how I put it. Exactly. Okay. That's how I felt about play at that moment. So anyhow, I got you. She graciously allowed me to do the paper again. And in order to do it again, I had to actually take it seriously and learn how to play. Y'all laughing at me. I know you are. It's fine. Yeah, I had this conversation with my dad, and my dad laughed at me.
Y'all, listen to this. Go ahead. Y'all listen.
Learn how to play, damn it. Okay. All right. But here's the funny part. So the funny part about this is the same teacher who failed me, the same one who made me curse up a storm in my apartment, up and like to my car back. Yeah, I did get a B+ on the paper. Was still mad, and then at the end of the semester, I went to her and I said, "Would you be my mentor?"
Mentor, yes.
And why? Because it's the ones that challenge us. It's the ones that make us see things different and think outside of the box. And it was important because one of the things that she made me think about was, do I really want to be in this field? Do I really want to help children the way I say I do? And if I do, then there are some things that are going to make me uncomfortable. Play made me very uncomfortable. Why? I had to look at that. So those are my three. And I say all of that because we are in a time where I don't care what your gender is, your ethnicity, where our children are in desperate need of mentorship. We can
Yes.
look outside. I don't care what your neighborhood is, and we can see that they're in desperate need of mentorship. And the fact that there was a situation that happened or happens actually on a constant, and the phrase that comes up is, "I was afraid to tell the parent."
Woo.
I did not grow up like that.
No. No.
I did not grow up like that.
Me neither.
And it's a problem because not only are our children being disadvantaged by that, but our parents are not finding out about situations until they're too late. And these are issues. So I grew up in a place where our neighbors 2 blocks down could discipline us.
I was just gonna say, I was just thinking that, man. I was just thinking that. And
you got disciplined by your neighbor, whoever was around, and then your parents. And then all week long, whoever saw what happened, it was. So I just say all of that to say that we need to get back to that. We keep talking about what happened to the village, but we don't talk about what happened to the villagers who reported to about. Okay, so anyway, I digress.
The culture of mentorship is melanated. It's been melanated for years. The culture of true mentorship, and the reason why I say melanated, and I'm saying this, is because our culture coming up, we were disciplined differently, and you know, people have their own thing about it now. I'm not saying that it was not what it was, but I appreciated it. I appreciated how I was disciplined. Let me tell you something. And we're talking about mentorship now, and fathers, and how important they are. But let me tell you something.
And they are important. I'm sorry. Hashtag fathers are important.
Hashtag we getting ready to go into Dad's month anyway. Father's month anyway. But listen to me. I'm gonna get to that part. Fathers are important. But when a father disciplines, listen to me now. This is different. When I got my butt whooped at the end of the street by the man that my dad knew, caught me doing whatever I needed to do, it was okay for him to discipline me. I'm talking about whop, 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 whop. Carry your butt on up the street. By the time my father either got off work or my mother, whop, 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 whop. Wait till your father.
Come on. I was waiting for that. There's nothing that instills fear in a child faster than
fear. I'm talking about the fear of anything. And then when he talking into a situation like this, where blase, blase. My dad used to tell me, well, you know you're gonna get some splinters. You know that, don't you? Please, I was looking at him with the puppy dog eyes, like, please, I done got 2 butt whoopings. 2.
I didn't even bother. You didn't even bother with my dad.
2. I done got 2. This one, and it's gonna hurt me more than that. But really, he was being as lenient as he could. I tell you now, he was. You know, cross the hip. Whop! Don't you go down there and whop. Whop, maybe good 3 times. Now get on out of there. You better not cry. I said, ow. His wouldn't cry. No, I wouldn't cry. I would take him. Moms, I'll pretend I'm crying, everything. But I'm getting back to mentorship. Good mentorship structures, finely polishes, refines, gets the rough edges off behavior. True mentorship gives behavior a template. Now, I'm going to show you where I'm going with this. In the military, you are always rewarded for togetherness, for unity. You're also rewarded for, and I want to use the word, initiative, okay? Initiative. So if you take the initiative to do things, if you take initiative to keep things squared away and stuff like that, you're rewarded for it. And the more, here's the one thing about the military: the more you show initiative, the more you're mentored. the more you are a mentor. In society now of what we have, it's been taken over. Mentorship to me has been taken over by technology and has been taken over by what we are exposed to. It has been taken over, especially with children now. Whew. If I had half of what these kids have now, like I don't think the books are not even. I remember I was taking home a book. Now I understand things change, y'all. You know, I understand, but we had reading assignments. We had books that we had to actually read and write on. You know, the books that came with Scarlet Letter, Moby Dick, blah blah blah. You know,
They
Native
don't take
Son.
books home anymore. They stopped that around about I want to say a year or 2 years ago when my daughter told me that, because I said, well, just study. Well, we don't take the books home anymore. What?
Yeah, and that's the weirdest. But anyway, I'm not I'm not here to bash the education system. All right.
Yeah, it's just a thing.
Thank you
Things
for the
change
teachers that do what
and
you do. If you're a
they
teacher,
keep
thank you.
changing.
Thank
Right. Yeah, it's just that they keep changing things, and then we have to just keep catching up. That's and that's the thing, is we have to just, you know, kind of keep going with the flow. Keep going with the
you.
flow.
And what's so weird about it is that, you know, what's mentoring our kids now, man. I mean, and I saw something the other day. And I have to say this, man, especially about, say, music now. I'm just using this. We all know that we're grown. You listen to whatever music, but there's a guy named D1, and shout out to D1. D1 goes and he's a hip hop, kind of like gospel. I say he's just really, really spiritual, man. He loves God, you know what I mean? And he was talking about something. And he says, this mentorship that you're giving, he says, why would you glorify violence, people getting killed? And I had to sit back and think about it. And I understood. Don't get me wrong. I understand it. I understand the culture. I'm not downplaying anybody's whatever you do, nothing you do. I'm not downplaying. You do you. This is a no judgment place. You handle who you are, what you do, what you say. But he says something that was very important. He says you can glorify it when you know morally that it's wrong. He says, how would I be a mentor if I didn't give you what I thought was morally right? And that's a heavy, 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 heavy question to ask about. We don't walk around and I said something early in the laws of Ma'at, you know, we have to be, and those that don't know what Ma'at is a term that speaks about unity, speaks about me taking all of the good attributes that I have and pushing them towards you, mentoring you, developing maturity in you, sharpening your purpose. That's what Ma'at is, okay? It's a type of mentorship that's spiritually driven, but outwardly expressed. And we as a culture need to actually walk in that type of school of thought. And it takes, and you said something so powerful about the villagers, like it takes just patience and time to actually sit and listen to what the issues are of people who need to be mentored. And it's not a job, listen to me, guys, it is not a job to where you are instantly gratified from it. Mentorship is not that type of job. Mentorship is consistent. It helps people avoid suffering sometimes. I want that to sink in. Mentorship can help people avoid suffering.
Well, because you're giving, it's think about what you're telling your children. You're saying,
yes,
I walked this path.
Yeah, you took it right there.
So
Yeah.
you didn't, so you don't have to. I had this experience, so you don't have to. And so when you don't engage in the mentorship, when you don't share that experience, you're willfully taking that away from someone, the ability to not step into that pothole. And since we already had a few pothole stories over the past couple of weeks, I feel like that's actually a really good metaphor.
And I see that Listen, identity in mentorship is very, very important. So if you have an identity, mentorship shouldn't control it. You get what I'm true mentorship should not control your identity. If I'm making sense here, Miss Lady, it should not make you feel, it shouldn't make you feel oppressed. Mentorship should never make you feel oppressed. And what I mean by controlling identity is if a person is strong in their beliefs about whatever they need to believe in, right? But they're open enough for you to mentor them in something, just say playing the piano. Let's use that, But he says, I'm not going to play the piano after 6. Okay, well, you're not going to play the piano after 6. You can play it from 12 to 5:30. But you still have before 6. But it's before 6. Then if that person says okay, they do that. Now they can't play after 4, and I'm just using it as an example. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to use it as an example.
A lot of hours before 4.
It's an hour before 4. So that his identity or her identity is saying, I don't want to do this beyond this. No, okay, let's not do that then. But let's build you up in the time that you're willing to practice. You're willing to do the steps necessary to make yourself better. If you're willing to do those things, then they are in your boundaries. They're in your control. And that's remaining, to me, in my opinion, that would be a good example of identity. Let me say this lady, and I'll segue with, because we're getting down to the
getting down to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, we get down to
it. You just led to with the time. Oh my gosh, look at how you did that.
Listen, this is an inside thing, y'all. Don't worry about it. But
back when though.
Back when, no, back then, I'm going to use a biblical term, and I want to always.
Oh no, Mr. Whispers put something in there, and so that's what I'm addressing stuff mad late, but
Now shout out to my man Whispers.
But here's the other thing. I'm mad at the fact that when I say things like, so we used to read the Sunday comics and then take those same comics and wrap our textbooks in them.
Yes.
And my child don't know what I'm talking about. So
yes. We used to take the comics. We used to take matter of fact, I used to take paper bags and draw on.
We used to do that too. Yeah.
Oh man, I used to use the ill drawings, man. Get the
and then I was gonna have my child. I was like, oh good, we could do this together.
And
y'all don't take
and
books home.
Lord, man, especially if someone knew graffiti. Oh man, it could do your book. Oh, it was hustles back then. But anyway, I want to say something about what mentorship really, really is, and I want to use these two biblical characters, Elijah and Elisha. And if you know that story, let's read the story, okay? But Elijah asked Elijah for a blessing, for a double portion of what was on him. And so watch this, stay with me now, so you can get something out of it. And the story goes how they did. And if you see me leave, this will happen to you. Okay. So all of a sudden, this chariot comes, whooshes him away, and Elijah, the person that he had been mentoring for so long, sees it, and he's gone. But he leaves him with a word. He says, listen, if you see me, I'll give it to you. He says, man, just give me a double what you got, man. Give me what you got. Give me something what you got. Give me something what you got. And it happens. But he doesn't realize it happens. So he's gone in this whirlwind. Elijah, gone. The chariot came and took him. Man, the first thing this cat do is grab the coat that fell off him, wrap it around his wrist. Mad. Man, this cat is gone. And he does that, right? All of a sudden, the water goes. He realizes that everything he's been taught up until this moment, he missed it because he was angry. He had to find out in his emotions that everything that he needed was given to him. And I'm saying this about mentorship. You have to really, really, really understand that people who take time, that you take time to listen to, you take time to build with, you take time to really, really, really pay attention to, you should always consider that valuable because it's shaping your vision in your purpose. It's giving you power. It's giving you something that you actually want or that you desire. And true mentorship starts in the home, in my opinion. It starts by being honorable. True mentorship starts by being truthful, being aware, and also respectful. And if you can do those things and teach, that's why I love the room that Russ and Miss Lady run on Saturdays in Clubhouse, because it's very, very respectable and it's very teachable. And sometimes we don't allow ourselves to be taught because I don't know everything. I don't know. Miss Lady, you know everything? I don't know.
No, that's
But
why I'm always
I was just
researching.
asking, but we know what the answer is. In a way, she does kind of know it, because if you ask about, she will melt your brain with information. She will
I
melt.
know how to find
She
what
is
I'm
the thought of. She is thought of information. The guy says, if I tell you what it is in that gods of Egypt, that's her. That's her. But mentorship is going to give you a leadership learning to follow. Because I'm saying leadership because we don't have leaders, a lot of leaders anymore. We don't have that anymore. We have people who follow cults. We have people who follow trends. But those that really are searching and seeking and thirsting after the truth in times like this, they need mentorship.
Mhm.
And it's important. If you choose to take this identity on, this mantle on, you got to be about your business with it, because it's important. And I'm going to say, men, women, we need to help our children. We definitely need to mentor more to our children. Fathers, if you're doing that, kudos to you. Mothers, you're doing that, power and love to you. But we need to continue to mentor each other. We got about 8 more minutes left. So I want to, I don't even know if we can get that in there. But
What you trying to get in?
you know what I'm trying to get in. We need to get in that music, that song I really, really like.
You can't get no songs in, but I got a piece for you.
Oh Lord, here we go. But I want to say this before she and I knew she was going to do that. And I knew that a piece was coming. I want to say this to you guys, man. It is a pleasure to come in front of you guys, and man, shout out to everyone today. If you're too many to name, but if you took your time out to come out here today, man, I appreciate you, and that means something very warm to my spirit. Okay. I love the fact that I am in a position to serve you, and I'm always going to be of service, man. That is just me. I'm like John Wick with it. I am of service, and I will be of service. I am. I'm a poetic John Wick. Don't forget it. But I trust that you will help us build this. I'm trusting our relationship. I'm trusting the current and the currency that we give each other. I'm trusting that for you guys, you people, to help build this, because this is important. And what we're doing here, it will change lives. It will. I promise you it will. Just because you're coming in here, I know it's changing lives because you're willing to be here. And I hope there's something that we said today or any time that I'm on this broadcast that will help you, assist you, mentor you, build your soul up to perfection. That's my job. And I'm going to keep doing it. Me, Miss Lady, AK, stays in verse, Crossfade Commons. We're going to do it through the next move. We're going to do it through the school app. We're going to do it through our music. We're going to do it through our poetry. We're going to do it with all of these things because we have something to say. And we thank you for involving your time, your precious time with us. And I thank you. And I had to tell you that. All right. Now,
It's gonna be everywhere.
after the spiel that I just gave, we're gonna have a poem.
Guess what we're gonna have next week?
A spoken word piece.
We're gonna have next week. Guess what we're gonna have next week?
Piece by.
No, we're not doing that. Okay.
Yes,
fine.
we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. I had to get it in there. Who are we gonna have next week, Miss Lady?
We're talking about the future and the youth and the next generation. So the day after her nationals.
Yes.
Bring EDJ.
Drum roll, please.
EDJ is gonna come on. That is my daughter. That is the
now,
next generation.
Next week is gonna be a little different. All right. So we're gonna have some poetry in next week. Okay. We're gonna have some talk time next week. It's not gonna be, too formal like we do. It's not gonna
it's not gonna. Yeah.
We're gonna allow the youth. We're gonna allow to hear from our youth. And we're going to give her a platform to speak. We're going to give her a time to just express herself. And we encourage you to bring your young folks next week to it, okay? So we're starting out the month of June with our children, okay? And this is going to be something that you don't want to miss. I promise you don't want to miss, because EDJ is a phenomenal soul. And that's my niece, by the way. And mess with me, she's a black belt. I'm gonna show you something. Keep messing with me and see who comes fight you. I'm sorry, I had to say that. But anyway, after that,
a lot because we are going to be bringing guests on, and we are just looking forward to expansion.
We got some stuff for you. Yes, we do. Yes, we got some stuff for you. So, Miss Lady.
Yes.
We're gonna do housekeeping. We're gonna do housekeeping after this piece. So when you do your piece, we're gonna do the housekeeping, and then we're gonna close it out. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, and this is short.
Oh, this is short.
I know, right? Who knew?
No,
I'm
not used to short words.
Listen, I'm still, I'm still healing. Somebody want to give me some soup?
Say less. Anyway. Say less. Say less.
All right. So this is called Healing, and I'm trying to remember whether this was from school or Wounded Heal. I don't even remember. All right, here you go. Okay. And this is just for everybody in this particular, I'm just getting this from the atmosphere.
Got you. Say less.
No more leftovers. I am done licking absolution from the blade. Done dividing myself into tender portions for hungers that named themselves holy. I poured and poured until my wrists learned fire, until my name became something served hot to the undeserving. And what a beautiful ruin it made. So now the first pour stays. The deep red, the still warm center. I know what it is to kneel before the wrong hunger and call it love. To give my own mouth over to drought. Still, I am learning not to condemn myself for the shape survival took. Learning forgiveness with its wild teeth. Learning to touch my own life as if it were never meant for punishment. And now, I turn toward the next chapter, open. I am learning some hands carry water and ask for nothing. I was never made to live on what was left after everyone else had eaten. I was the feast too. Mic drop.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Miss Lady. Miss Lady, y'all. Y'all give it up for Miss Lady. Give it up for Miss Lady. She will be here all week. She will be here all week. We can say, if you think that's fire, you wait till you hear what we have in store for you. We got a lot in store for you. So what we're going to do now is do the housekeeping, because we're at 59 minutes on the dot. And I think we did good with our time today. We did well.
Join the school app.
So
Tuesday noon Eastern Standard. Like, listen, did you hear the man earlier? We got way too many things happening nowadays. We got
way too many things, man.
School app, join us. No, but Tuesday Eastern Standard Time, 12 noon. Come on for Missing Link. there's a lot of stuff happening. Most of the stuff that's happening on the Clubhouse app, with the things that we're involved in, and also even with treating you sweet stuff, that stuff is on the school app calendar. And if you are a creator and you would like to partner with us, your stuff could be on the school app calendar with Aftertongue as well. What is that? School.com/Aftertongue. It's simple. School.com/Aftertongue. Yeah, there's a calendar there. Most of the events of the people that we frequent and support, they're right there. So we don't have to sit here and give you a laundry list of things you're not going to remember 10 seconds from now. We love you all.
You know what? I'm gonna say this, y'all. I love y'all, man. And you don't see the vision I just had, Miss Lady. Like, it was, anyway.
Well, considering the fact that I just came up with an idea this morning.
I swear, the vision that I just seen just then. Everybody, hey, Miss Kim, how you doing?
You know what I'm talking about?
Exactly. Whispers, right, I see you, love you, Whispers.
That's 8 Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday. See, we have it in our head, but it's starting to become crowded up there. So
I had to shout out to Whispers too, because Whispers definitely show love. That's my man. Let me put a plug.
Whispers is first on the list for what we got coming up
got
for
some music out, y'all,
comments
on Spotify. And ain't no hating, never. I will never hate on no.
It is time. So thanks for coming out.
Please come out and listen again. Whispers got some dope stuff. Check his stuff.
Peace out.
Be safe.
Afterglow Sundays.
Love y'all, man.
Verse, voice, and witness. Another Stays In production. Leave with your name, leave.